Let's bring up the producers and France, the Griessen, and Francois.
Well, as I told you during the press conference, even if the film is very oniric, very surrealistic, very weird, the film came from a very, I would say, observation of the reality of Los Angeles and the presence of homeless people, and the fact that most of them are suffering from schizophrenic disorders. So was it the start for you for making the film, the main idea?
In a way, I mean, originally the idea, I wanted to do something just very visual about LA, so I didn't even have a script, I just had a 3-page outline. When I got to LA and we started shooting, I've made a film in LA before called Hustler White, which was also about street people. It was about male prostitutes on Santa Monica Boulevard. But when I got to LA this time, I was really surprised by the number of homeless people there were in LA, and it was like way more than I'd ever seen before. So as we were shooting, because the concept was so open, we just sort of incorporated that. That was part of the original concept, but I kind of like exaggerated it because or played it up more because of what we observed on the street. So, some of the characters, the black character that Francois is with the shopping carts is a real homeless person, and we paid him to be in the film, and that was his home, basically. He lived under the bridge, and the location where he dragged the body into that sort of weird cubby hole with a blanket over it was an actual homeless person's home. So.
And how did you meet Francois, Sagat? And Francois, how did you meet Bruce?
Well, I mean, I of course knew Francois from his work, from his porn work, from his modeling work, so I had wanted to find a project to work with him for a while, and I watched his YouTube videos a lot, which were very amazing, kind of like this very personal work, where he was making sort of short documentaries about his life. One of them, he was like shooting steroids, and there was another one which was banned from YouTube, and another one where he was dressed up in Halloween as a vampire, and that gave me the idea to turn him into some kind of bizarre creature, an alien zombie, and the idea was to make a hardcore gay porn gore movie. But then...
Succeed?
Yeah. Thank you. But then, like I said, this is the softcore version, so most of the characters in the film are actual porn actors, and we shot full-on sex scenes as well, which will come out under the title LA Zombie Hardcore, and it'll be marketed as a full-on porn movie. So, but in my usual style, I like to make a kind of art version that also screens at festivals and is distributed separately as a kind of an art film.
The porn version, which has more sense for me.
Makes more sense.
Yeah.
That's because you're a porn star.
I need to see it.
Yeah,
I wish I could see it here with you.
You haven't seen the hardcore version yet. Yeah. Well, with the hardcore version, he's actually fucking with his own cock.
Interesting.
That wasn't his real cock, no, believe it or not.
Yeah. the pointy Scorpio cock. It's like a Scorpio, right?
Yeah, I worked with this crazy special effects guy, Joe Castro from LA, who does special effects for a lot of low-budget horror movies, and he and I came up with collaborated on the look of the creature and the cock, and so we put a scorpion stinger on the end of it, and as you see.
Est-ce qu'il y a des questions dans la salle?
I have to say, the film, unfortunately I should have said to Olivier, the sound was too quiet. I should have told him to turn it up, so I apologize for that, because the sound is very central to the film and it was a bit quiet on the screening.
I already have a microphone.
On va vous donner des micros.
Sorry? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Maybe you can elaborate a bit on the design of the cock. It has, as you say, a scorpion's sting on it, whereas it is actually, of course, in the religious sense, much more a bringer of life. Can you elaborate a bit?
Well, you know, staff of life, that's what they call a cock in the Bible, I guess. I mean, partly I was reacting against a lot of horror movies. There's a whole new cycle of horror movies that are very about torture, about death. You know, I think in a kind of cynical way that they really fetishize the act of death and the act of murder without any sort of conscience or redemption. So I just wanted to make a simple reversal of that idea, where he finds victims who are actually already dead from violence, and he sort of resurrects them. So it's you know, it's just sexual healing, basically.
One repeat for our next question. Do you think the Australian censorship actually reacted not so much to some pornographic content, but to the religious connotation?
I think really it's more about the necrophilia. And when the film was banned in Australia, a good friend of mine is a close confidant of Camille Paglia, and I sought out her advice about, you know, how to frame the movie, what kind of context to put it in, and she said, you know, it really goes back to, you know, the idea of romantic necrophilia goes back to the late 18th century with Poe, you know, Baudelaire and Edgar Allan Poe, and it's like it's actually a very strong kind of literary tradition to kind of romanticize the dead and death. So I think that was part of the idea. And even though he resurrects people, he's initially having sex with them when they're dead, and in a lot of countries that's a very kind of strict taboo or prohibition, that you're not supposed to represent people having sex with dead bodies. So I think probably that's what was objected to the most.